turn on that live stream now and we will start with our karakia. Whakataka te hau ki te uru, whakataka te hau ki te whanga, kia mā kina ki uta, kia mā tara te kai. E hia ana te atakura, he tio, he huka, he hauhu, ti hei maori. Right, first item on the agenda today, we have apologies received any. Item number 2, declarations of interest. Are there any? No. You know, do you? Oh, sorry,
sorry, I wasn't saying how you said it.
So that's the Sarah application from Emma.
You almost got away with it.
Item 3, confirmation of previous minutes. Do we have a motion to second those, Jake and Pauline? Put that motion, all those in favour? That is carried. That takes us to item 4, our public forum. And first up, we have Sheila McAfee from Together Diverse is going to speak to us today about what they're up to. Welcome, Sheila.
Thank you. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, if you just push the button on the microphone. There we go.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And I'm just going to just press the clicker across.
That's correct.
So, all right, wonderful. Haven't used a PowerPoint for many years. My name is Sheila McAfee and I am here because I am on the board with a local charity called Together Diverse. And we very gratefully received a donation from the Christchurch City Council of $8,000 late last year. It was approved. And that has enabled us to continue to be able to provide our services for the next calendar year and to be able to potentially grow. So we're looking at all the different framework around that. So. A table of contents, introduction, yada. We are a registered charity based in Christchurch and we help neurodivergent adults with social engagement. The original social group was started by Autism New Zealand 15 years ago and it provided opportunities for autistic individuals to have social interaction with each other, build friendships, get outside of their quite isolated homes sometimes. And that was really successful. And then in 2020, Autism New Zealand focused their structure on the children coming through because of funding limitations. And so the programs for the adults were no longer extended and provided. So because of those budget constraints, but they do continue to support us and advertise us on their website, which is amazing. Together Diverse are filling the gap left by their absence. We know what a huge impact the positive social interaction has, particularly when neurodivergent adults are able to engage with their peers after years of isolation. So after functioning as an independent group from around 2020, in 2023, the charity Together Diverse was established. So we're relatively new. But we provide a safe space to build friendships and expand horizons by engaging in a range of activities and environments. What's next? We are based out of the Phillipstown and we service around 60 members across the groups. And we run both social groups and ball game groups and demand exceeds capacity by quite a long margin. We've got facilitators with expertise in neurodivergence who provide support to the members. One facilitator has a background in nursing for over 15 years in the medical sector, but she's also trained alongside the former manager, understanding executive functioning and autism advocacy. Runs a company that supports families of those with a recent disability diagnosis and helping them navigate the health and disability sector with support. The other primary facilitator is a PhD student who's studying the effects of ADHD on self-esteem, and both were adults when they received the neurodivergent diagnoses for themselves. The activities that we provide are group-led, so the members get together and decide what activities they'd like to do, and then we structure it around their suggestions. And we alternate their needs between those that are sensory seeking and those that are sensory avoiding, and make sure that we provide a combination. We keep costs down so that the financial component's not a barrier to engagement. Members are informed ahead of time to any costs that might be incurred and can elect to attend or not. Attendance is not mandatory. We do have members who will come along every week and they'll be there right at the start. And there are other members that are a little bit wary and not quite so confident. And so putting additional pressure on them to attend week on week would be counterintuitive. It's a safe space where they can have the option to come along when they're feeling ready and that we're ready for them. We do partner with other charities and local providers to provide a wide range of social activities to help them gain confidence in areas that benefit their wider lives. We bring people in like local chefs to teach them the basics of cooking, and then they go off and they practice that themselves. It does encourage them to just have those footstones of confidence building. The biggest gift we can give to the anxious and often isolated individuals is confidence around engaging with others to feel that they belong. With our case study, Maxine is a 24-year-old member of the Together Diverse social group. Prior to attending, she would hide in her bedroom for days at a time and had major anxiety with any personal interaction. She had suicidal tendencies, diagnosed with autism, anxiety, and depression. She would avoid any situations where small talk was required. On her first day joining the group, she felt overwhelmed and hid with her headphones. There was no judgment from the other neurodiverse members because they understood. And it was the first time that outside of her family, she had felt belonging. Connecting with the group started her journey of developing independence and confidence. She now provides peer support to the other members, arranges meetups with them independently, is a volunteer running the Together Diverse board game group with me, and actively volunteers in the wider community. She meets with the other group members, learning to drive, leading an independent life. She's also my daughter, and she's the reason that I believe so much in the difference that the Together Diverse autism social groups can make. In 2024, the long-standing volunteer who ran the charity resigned. So the board's been working really hard at ensuring that all the members are supported and have that continuity that's so fundamental to their engagement. We've sought advice and implemented protocols to ensure that the groups are stable and safe for all those members and the staff. We've got waiting lists of people in the community who are keen to join us, and we're training staff accordingly to be able to meet this demand. We will be adding a group for 30 plus, in that 30 plus age group shortly. We've got a waiting list for that. It's just a matter of really gradually implementing these things, especially with terms of new members. We don't want to overwhelm the existing members. We need to make sure that it's done very gradually and with sensitivity. Neurodivergence can be isolating and confusing. Having peer support and friendship can make all the difference in the world. Our long-term vision is to provide a wraparound service, being able to help members get advice around accessing funding and executive functioning alongside the social groups. We were providing this with our former manager, and in time we'll have the appropriate staff and structure to be able to meet the wider variety of needs. But presently our focus has been on consolidating and making sure we're able to best support the existing members through the transition and keep this amazing charity running. Thank you so much for your support in this endeavour.
We've got time for a quick question, Ali.
Hi, are you based in our ward, are you?
We're based in Phillipstown.
Phillipstown, right, great.
Yeah, so when we have regular meetups, they're all at the Phillipstown Hub, and that's also where the board game group is run out of. And then when the members choose community activities, they can be around Christchurch, so we'll travel to those with the members and meet them there.
Do you see one day extending perhaps? I mean, is it something that could be satellited across the city?
Absolutely, yeah. No, so it's a matter of us, it's been really positive, actually looking at the framework and making sure that it's safe and that the protocols are in place and giving it the potential to survive and thrive and expand in a really safe, supportive way. So we've been going through and just making sure that we're not jumping the gun with anything, especially because the biggest thing for these members is that continuity of care. They want the familiar faces, they want that routine, they want to know what to expect, they want the same places, you know, the same members, and so we do gradually increase that But we just need to be really considerate so that it is a safe space where people can come out of their shell and develop confidence.
Thank you.
Thanks. Just one more quick one from me before we finish up. What more do you need? Is there anything else that we can do to support you? Obviously, the demand's there, but you don't want to grow too fast. Is there something we can do to?
Oh, very good question. And I'm not sure off the top of my head that I can answer it. At the moment, what we're looking at is bringing in some more board members and volunteers who have experience to allow us to grow, and making sure that we've got the structure in place. Financially, the donation that you have made to Together Diverse has covered our costs for a reasonable period of time. So we've got that security that we're able to provide the group and continue it, which is amazing. It means we're able to schedule the events, we're able to pre-plan that the members know what's coming, and that's a huge relief. And at the moment, that was our sort of primary focus, training those people up to be able to extend into the new groups. And as I said, like getting some new volunteers and board members in who have got the appropriate expertise to carry us forward.
Yeah, that's something we can certainly help support you with.
It'd be amazing.
So thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you.
It was great to meet you and all
Cheers.
that. Right, next up we have Brian from Step Ahead Trust. Going to speak to us about what they're up to. Welcome along, Brian.
Hello. Very similar voice, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly. Kana koutou katoa ko Brian toko ingoa. Hello, everybody. My name is Brian. I am here to talk to you about the organization I represent. It's called Step Ahead Trust. Please feel free to ask questions at any time, and I'm going to ask Jake to help pass out some goodies I gave to you guys, I brought for you guys. Step Ahead is an NGO in the mental health sector, and as Jake pointed out, we share very similar mahi, which is interesting and nice to see that other folks are out there in the community. We've been in operation for over 42 years, and we have 4 bases across Canterbury, 2 in Christchurch, 1 in Linwood on Stanmore Road, and 1 in Rickerton on Prairie Street. Then we have a base down in Ashburton and 1 up in Rangiora. We are largely funded by Te Whatuora and the Ministry of Social Development with some supplemental grants from Rata Foundation and the Community Trust of Mid-and-Central. We like to refer to our clients as members to foster that sense of community. And our members can be referred by other mental health organizations or their GP, or they can self-refer. We have 3 criteria for membership. One is that you have a diagnosed mental health condition, chronic mental health condition. Chronic meaning that it lasts more than 6 months, that they are between the ages of 18 and 65, and then they can participate independently. So independently is without a support worker or a caregiver. We empower them to participate on their own. We believe that our model is a pathway toward well-being and reintegration into the community. We follow the Wharetapa Wha approach, and we program according to the 5 pathways or the 5 ways of well-being, which are connect, learn, take notice, be active, and give. So that's how we program our activities. And several of you are actually looking at what we have on in a month.
Busy calendar.
It's a really busy calendar. So some examples are we take weekly walking, swimming, and gym groups, fortnightly cycling, tramping, and other outdoor adventure groups. We do we're heavily focused in arts and crafts. We have sessions for those nearly daily. We also participate in volunteer activities. We're active with Willowbank, Meals on Wheels with the Red Cross. We also help take care of Beverly Park in Linwood. And we try to participate in any community volunteer activities that we can find. We also teach things like Te Ao Māori, New Zealand Sign Language. We teach maths and sciences, sewing, woodworking, just to name a few. We see that our model works on a daily basis. We see these positive outcomes, which is really fulfilling. I'm fortunate enough to be able to see that. But we just recently completed a research project with the University of Canterbury to demonstrate that our model really has efficacy. We spent a year surveying our members about their well-being throughout the participation in activities. After that year, the university did some analysis of the data and came back with some really positive outcomes and proving that our model really works, which we're really excited about. I have shared with you all a program which represents the month of March. And one side is what we have going on in our Linwood program, and the other is our Ripley program. You can see there is a lot going on.
River crossing skills.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning at 9
Do you want
o'clock.
to come?
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who does
And
that?
I've also given you a membership information booklet to go into depth of what our membership looks like. And then just a fancy brochure, and my favorite is the refrigerator magnet. Flat straight to your refrigerator, please. And that's what we are, and that's who we are. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share our mahi with you. I was fortunate enough to share that with Sunita and John and Jake in December, and just thrilled to have folks come to see what we do.
Great things that you're offering. Great service. Jake?
Oh, just a really curly one for you. Have CCC been able to help with your activities at all the last wee while?
Yeah, so we got connected with the sports and rec division, and they are actually we're in the process of signing an MOU with them, and they're going to provide subsidy for access to the rec center, all the rec centers, which is amazing for us. We heavily subsidize our activities and services. So we do take folks to the gym, as I said, and we take them swimming, but we have to charge our members a portion. With this subsidy from CCC, we can provide that for free to them, and they'll get out into the community, they'll be able to see what they can access, which is our end goal.
Yes.
Oh, thank you very much. I'm keen to understand where your funding comes from, what your funding model looks like, and also the numbers have we got for your members.
Yep, so we are mostly funded through the Waipapa and the MSD, and a small grant from Community Trust of Mid and South Canterbury, and then a large one from the Rata Foundation. We are approaching nearly 400 clients.
Thank you.
And I believe that more people need our services, and hope to share that with the rest of the country at some point, because we see that our model works. We know that our model works, and we fit in that space in between specialized mental health services and the community. So let's say that you are discharged from mental health services. What do? You end up going back to where you came from and repeating, and then maybe ending up back in specialized mental health services.
So how do you get your referrals? Where are they coming from?
Again, they can be referred from another mental health organization or their GP, or they can self-refer, word of mouth. As long as they meet our criteria, then they can become members.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for the update. It's really good to get that rundown on what you're up to.
Thanks, Rick.
Yeah, we'll look to support you wherever we can.
Pleasure. Thank you. Cool. Thanks, Brian. Good to see you.
And then finally, we have on my paper here, Hayley, but it does not look like Hayley. Looks like Craig.
Substitute for Hayley.
Craig and Murray from We Are Richmond here today.
Right.
Upstate, I see.
Oh, you got it. Yeah, sure. So first name.
Kia ora koutou, Murray James from England, or Te Tahi Aho, in particular, Richmond, toku, what's the word I'm looking for? Kainga in my name. So we are Richmond. I'm Murray. This is Craig. We're the, I suppose the relatively long-serving bloke section of Richmond as compared to Hayley and the other ladies. There is more to Richmond than Hayley. Now, I can tell you I've got no idea what I'm supposed to be talking to because Hayley dropped me in at the last minute. But what I would like to say is that there's a whole lot of shit going on in Richmond. We're really excited about it. We're an active residents association, if you like. We are Richmond, and boots and all sorts of stuff. Revolution is going gangbusters, commercially and from a community perspective, doing exceptionally well. It's a real magnet for people. And it's the Revolution Cafe is actually starting to contribute quite nicely to the garden coffers, which is brilliant because it means it gets off the partially gets off the funding trough. Other than that, there's so much happening. There's a whole lot of stuff. Sorry,
How did the pool thing go? How did the pool?
How did the pool thing go? The pool thing went really good. So we've had 2 working bees. And then this week we've had the maintenance engineer from the Caroline Bay saltwater pool come and have a gander. And Morris's concept was, hey, this filtration shit, it'll work. It'll work. It probably needs some maintenance. It might need some replacement parts from the US, but it will function and the pool will be able to work at some sort of capacity. So now that we've actually got into the guts of it, we're starting to see that the hideously expensive budget that we thought would be the worst case scenario is actually starting to come back the right way. And that's very, very exciting. Good engagement from the community, great engagement from Tauraka, the principal, Brett Cooper, and the board, and all in general. And very broad, if you like, interest from a wide section of stakeholders. Now, we haven't asked them to, and they haven't as yet put a spade in the ground to say what their financial commitment will be, but are certainly involved at a philosophical level. We're pretty confident, well, we're going to make this happen. We just are. Petrie Park, going brilliantly. That's really cool too. Huge involvement from local people with dogs around the Dogs Petrie Park campaign. Really good imagery around the park. Still quite a lot of work to do there, but we're getting it done at minimal cost and with lots of community engagement, and really that's what we're about. So, Craig.
Yeah, I'm going to black through the next bit real quick because probably short of time now. Is this is the hoodie for the what's it called? Cool. Which button do I push? Arrows. Arrows, thank you. That makes sense. I'm just going to cover off, you guys have probably been across bits in this, a little bit maybe disjointed, haven't heard our picture on it all the time, but roading stuff, it's really, really boring compared to everything else that's been talked about, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is a picture of the Flockton Basin work that was happening in Richmond probably about 9 years ago, 2015, 2017.
Yeah.
Huge project that went through Richmond, just as an example of some of the infrastructure stuff that happened. I thought this was quite interesting. I found this the other day, basically showing the liquefaction that happened from the 2010 earthquake in Richmond. I'll build you up the story here. The yellow line is the Richmond boundary, and that was the 2011 event. So basically, from the first one, you can see there's a fair amount in there, and that was just accentuated in the next one, plus lots and lots of lateral spread all around the Avon, as you know, with lots of red zoning. There's a typical house in Richmond after the earthquakes. Malcolm McNeil's house, actually, Petrie. Yeah, right. So very quickly, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it shows the
I thought he lived in Sumner.
Well, that's what the press doesn't lie. So Richmond is a really old suburb, joined 1800s, I think, the South Richmond bit, and then eventually was developed north there up to sort of the Shirley area. One of the oldest suburbs.
First noted suburb of
the
Christchurch.
Yeah. Earthquakes did a lot of damage with liquefactions, a lot of damage at road level plus infrastructure damage. Skirt came through and did bare minimum work on things, got things working, but a lot of the roading things, drainage systems weren't actually fixed up very well. North Richmond especially, there's a lot of tributaries and a lot of streams. So you've got Dudley Creek, you've got St Albans Creek, all these other ones that all converge through there. So there's lots and lots of water and other stuff flowing through there and lots of systems. 2018, we had a stake and flares meeting at the Shirley Primary School with a whole bunch of angry residents, which I think some of you are probably there and heard the brunt of it. After that, at the time, a whole bunch of residents independently came together and we formed the RRBA, We Are Richmond. And from there, there was a few of us interested in roading stuff. And so we just said, let's just try to work with the council, figure it out and work the way forward. Anyway, we've worked with the engineers, it's worked really well. Here's an update. This is the list of all the stuff that's been done. All the green stuff is all the things that have been completed to date. The blue stuff has just been completed or just on being completed. So you've got Nichols Street, Dudley. The yellow stuff is the stuff that you guys have just said, yep, cool too, which is the top of Slater Street. The purple is the stuff left. The story here is, out of all this, is there's been lots and lots of stuff in Richmond, but you can pretty much justify all of it because there's been a lot of damage. And I think the message I'm trying to get across is we're also aware there's other needs in other places. That's cool. But there was a lot of infrastructure damage. There's stormwater systems that had to be done in a certain manner to get them repaired. And there's lots of, interesting coal tar and stuff that basically shows the roads haven't been touched in a long time.
And a lot of rats running because Hills Road was closed for so long.
Yeah.
The black
Black bit, that's Churchill Courts. Ignore that. That's just a black line, so I had to put them in there saying now.
doesn't count as right.
The other thing is we've done 30k an hour, and thanks to the lovely national government, that might be reversing. So if anyone wants to tell the national government where to go, they're welcome to.
No, it will be.
Don't worry,
It's worked really well.
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Road speed stuff, road narrowing's worked well. We've done it. Road speeds worked well. They're conducive to cycling. You're not going to get everyone obeying the road speeds, but if the majority of people do, it's safer for everyone. It means you have to put less cost into infrastructure, but we also have a greenway cycle path as well we're working on, which is, I think, almost across the line or in some state.
No one needs
it's
to run
across the
through
line. Half now
Richmond
in the
at 50 or 60 or however many K they do. 30 is fine.
Yeah, and I guess our story is we've got other priorities we're going to get chipping along so we'll have those conversations with you guys at some point in time. But we're also realistic and pragmatic about what can be done and when. So,
and probably just to conclude, there's a really lovely collaboration going on between We Are Richmond, Dallington Residents Association, Shirley Village Project, and Shirley Community. We've all come together around the Shirley Pool, and we're hoping to welcome perhaps the St Albans community when we start talking about 10 Shirley Road. And so there is really active collaboration going on. Long may it continue. We're keen to make sure that our relationship with the council is strong, open, and conducive.
Cool.
Great. Thanks for that update. Any questions?
No, just great stuff.
Yeah.
Well done. Really keeping in touch. It's great.
Yeah, positive. I'd just like to thank you, especially Craig, for your communications over a number of years now with all the roadworks and the communication between the contractors and residents, and that you've done a fantastic job. So thank you.
cool, thanks. That's been, I think it's been one of the big keys that's worked really well is people just want to know what's going to happen and when. How's it going to, and most people you go, yeah, cool. You got any problems, let us know. They don't tell you. But it's what we normally hear is, people are generally quite happy with the end result, and thanks to you guys for your support as well, because I know it has to get across the line at the table here as well. So
great work.
And the good thing is, it's the same suspects on both sides of the table, so it's always makes life easier.
Thank you.
Great.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks,
We do not normally do deputations today, so that all petitions, that takes us to item 7, which is the proposed parking restriction on the corner of Hama and Barbados Street. We'll take the report as read. Does anyone have any questions? No, Jake's moved it.
Second.
Anita seconded it. We'll put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
That is carried.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry.
Thanks for doing it.
And item 8, 146 Edgware Road, proposed revocation of P30 parking restrictions.
I had a question on that.
Ali's got a question.
Yeah.
Are you able to come up?
Oh, well, that's good you came in.
Fine.
There's some mention that there isn't high demand for parking in this area. It's obviously been looked at to make the decision that any restrictions can be removed. But looking and driving down there, there are a number of old sites that look as though they're going to be developed, that there's going to be more high density going in there. There's already a lot of high density down Madras. Does that not suggest that there should be some time limit put on those so that there is a turnover of traffic there or parking there rather?
Yeah, I think that would have to happen as like a bigger project looking at the entire corridor. And that one in particular was just looking at, I think, two.
Yeah, there's only
parks.
two there, okay.
So I think there are projects going forward where we're looking at places where there's like medium density houses without any parking on site.
Right,
And we're looking to kind of figure out how to provide that turnover. So this would have to happen as part of that work,
right.
separate to this.
Okay,
particular
that's fine.
report.
No, you've answered that. Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to move it.
Ali's moved, I'm happy to second.
They just, sorry, not really all over this one, the reason for it being 30 minutes, that's residential.
It's-
No, it was a business.
Yeah, I know, but
Oh.
it's residential now.
Oh, no, we're getting rid of
removed.
it.
Oh, it's being removed.
Yeah.
Thank you, good idea. Although, yeah,
Right, so we've got a mover and a second there. Put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
That's carried. Thank you. Item 9, the granting of easement for fibre installation in Dunedin Reserve.
Happy to move it. Yeah.
Any questions for this one?
No.
So Ali's moved, Emma's seconded. Put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
Right, that is carried. Discretionary response fund application. First one's for Avery House Community Trust. Welcome, Trev. You got any questions? Right, I'm happy to move this one.
Oh, actually, you know, I did have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Vic.
Yeah. I see that they've already had funding this year, a trunk of $40,000, which is year one of year two of 2 years.
Strengthening communities for wages.
Okay,
For wages.
so is it commonplace to come back to the same fund a second time within a 12-month period?
It's a different fund. This is a discretionary response fund.
Okay,
It is for different items.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I get that. Thank you.
and for a different project.
Yes.
Right, any other questions? Okay, I've moved it, Sunita's seconded it. Put that motion, all those in favour? That is carried.
Okay.
And item 11, the St Albans Residents Association application for the Community Gardens Coordinator. I've noted that Emma's getting this one out. Any questions for Stacey?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just why the, such a low recommendation and.
I don't have mine, the group asked for 4,500, the total cost was 10,200, the group asked for 4,500.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so 4,000 was my recommendation.
Well, I'd like to move 4.5, because I know they've expanded out into Eberley Park as well, using the coordinator and Peck Street as well, so. I think it's worth it.
So you've moved 4.5. Yeah, you're happy to second 4.5.
Advice from staff, is that acceptable to you?
It's already been moved, yeah.
Okay.
Right, well, in that case, we will put that motion. All those in favour?
Aye.
Against? No, that is carried.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stacey. Item 12, the area report for March.
Again. Right, I'll take the report as we, I would like to take a moment and acknowledge the passing of Deb Delaney, who was a truly local hero. Deb was a member of the state Shirley Village Working Group, a keen Shirley Hawk, and community mum and nana to many. So moira mai rā Deb, and yeah, just to acknowledge the mahi she has done over the many, many years. Yeah.
Thank you, yeah.
We send something to you.
Be nice to note it in the minutes.
Note it in the
Note it
minutes.
in the report.
And I'll also send something.
Thank you.
She was also representative, Shirley Rugby League representative on the moving of the building to
Yes.
Park.
She was at the meeting the other day, the tree.
Yeah, she's sitting next to me. Yeah,
Is it just?
very stunning.
Right, do we have any questions on the report this month? Another very thorough one. Run through work on it. No questions?
Do you put a paper copy into the library?
Well, no, normally it's online and done on our websites.
Could be nice to keep a record of this. I mean, it's great information. Keep a record out there for the public.
Avery House can print one up.
So can I ask, is there any update on the 10 Shirley Road, the project there?
In our diary, isn't it, the first meeting?
Yeah, so it's updated in the report there. And we've got the first meeting in a couple of weeks.
End of March.
End of March, so shape.
April, yeah.
There is a date, isn't there? There's a date now. Yeah. Yeah, but if you're not in the group, you don't know the date. Oh, even if you are in the group, you might not know. True. I'll don't Google.
Cool, any other questions? Right, do we have a mover? Second of the report, Sunita and Jake. Okay, we'll put that motion, all those in favour?
Aye.
It's carried. Good on, thank you. Item 13, elected members information exchange.
Can I just do a wee plug for the little Edgeware Village Market's going to be on Sunday. It's really good actually that the Business Association and the businesses there have rallied, and they're really trying to, in the light of the potential Woolworths development on Madras Street, they're really wanting to actually cement Edgeware Village as a little, you know, chic, niche destination so that people continue to shop there. And so having this market, Stephen from the supermarket's organising it, and it's on Sunday between 10 and 2. And also, just on that, I think actually I've been told that the council itself, if they are looking for an example of an urban commercial area, they point as being successful, they point to Edgeware. So, you know, it is something to look at for, Christchurch. And the fact that those little urban commercial areas service large populations. Yeah. And it's quite good that the Business Association has been activated. Look, I'm not sure this is the appropriate time, but I'll do it anyway. But we found the flag. Now, this was the flag that was up there. Thanks, John. A few years ago. It's really beautiful, eh? It is beautiful. So this is what they're wanting to. Peggy Kelly's behind this, and wanting to have these up in Edgeware Village. You know, the flag poles are already there. Currently they've got Christchurch and New Zealand.
How many flags have we got?
This is only it.
Oh, there's only one,
She
right.
had it in the cupboard. But she knows who made them. There will be a cost, of course, so that might be an application pending, I don't know. But I'll sort of show you them. She dropped it around a couple of days ago. Great. Actually, the business group can get funding. Yes, well, there you go. Yeah, there's funding for business areas. I'm sure of it. Yeah. For business groups. Yeah, I'm sure they can get it. But the thing is, to me, it's like the activation that's happening in there. I think it's a really great thing, and good to see. So, well, actually, and based on that, because the Birds of Edgeware, which was the lighting up of the birds in the tree that was taken over and put that light underneath the tree. Oh, there's a light under there. Yeah, there is somewhere. Actually get that dealt to. I mean, it was $28,000 to do that, and you can't see it. So something needs to be changed with the actual lighting, because it's too dull to even see. So could we ask for that to be looked at? I think we have asked, we just haven't had any. Well, I mean, it would just be a matter of changing the light bulbs, I would think, put brighter light bulbs. Yeah, we can follow it up again. Yeah. Thank you. And I was just wondering also with the, I missed the walkabout with the trees in Shirley. I don't know, I think you went, anyone else? I was there, yeah. I didn't see it on Facebook, so I'm just wondering if these things come through Facebook, if we could be advised that they're on. And has anyone got an update on how it went? It was really useful. It was good to have Tony there able to actually speak to individual trees, point out different things. There was a good group of residents there with a range of different views. So yeah, I believe it was helpful. It didn't answer all questions, obviously, but yeah, I think it was worthwhile. Well, I think that, and I know it's a really important issue and really controversial. I think our staff have gone above and beyond really communicating with these people. And I know it's a slow process getting the answers to the questions because there's multi-agencies involved. This was on a Sunday, and I think they've had meetings on a Saturday and after work. And I think it's, know, they're doing their best. So let's hope we get some answers soon. But meanwhile, the trees are still standing. Thank you.
But Jake and Ellie.
Well, there's two things. Dennis McMurtry popped in to see me again today at the drop-in session and given me his latest artwork on the mural that he's working on doing at Papanui-Bush. So he's got some funding from us for $2,000 and he's working on getting the rest of the funding. So he's got the artists lined up. So you can see what's going on the wall in that huge space. It gives you an idea of size. So the local artist is a fellow called Jason Root. And the council have used him before, and they're working in collaboration with the school art department. So some of the kids are going to be involved in that. It's making really good progress on that. Still got a bit of a funding shortfall. So if you know anyone with spare pennies, I'm sure he'd be pleased to hear from you. And the other one is just the Wairaki Road, Aorangi intersection. Those works are continuing, and the Isaacs guys have been amazing at engaging with the local public. They held another residents meeting last Friday. There were about 10 people turned up to that, and they're having them monthly now. So the next one's going to be on, they've decided to do it later in the afternoon to try and get more people. So those who are working can pop in on their way home. So that'll be on the evening of Thursday, the 3rd of April, just checking on the venue. It's just really interesting to note that they have been really accommodating of residents' requests, and they're opening up roads when they can, and making it just a little bit easier for the local residents. And it's just really important to give that shout back to these guys who are working in that space, who have been willing to engage with people and really accommodating of the locals' concerns. I think
They've been good around the stadium as well.
Yeah, they've been amazing, really, really amazing. So I just wanted to give them that shout out. I think that was it.
What's Victoria? Sorry, yeah. Supplementary.
Yeah.
Something question. What's the budget for that mural or the shortfall?
It's a $12,000 quote.
Mhm.
It's got 2,000 from us. He said another 500 from somewhere else. He's got 5,000 somewhere that he's just waiting to access.
Okay.
And I think it's one of his trusts that he's trying to get hold of for that. I don't know what plan B is if he can't get that 5,000, but it's getting pretty close.
Okay.
He's got other plans afoot for other parts of the project. Oh, yeah, the other thing with Papanui-Bush, if I could just add, next Saturday, Rotary are looking at putting peace poles in Papanui-Bush. It's an international movement of peace poles. These wooden poles that go in various places all over the world, and there's people that travel the world visiting the peace poles. And we're just waiting for the final sign-offs from Clark's team, I think. That's at 2:00 on Saturday, the 22nd of March, if anyone wants to pop along.
Would you see something else?
Dudley Street Birds. I've had an email from Becca Hughes, Nick's wife, who wanted to let us know. We have made a commitment to do weekly cleaning, and a few days after our meeting, someone came to clean, and they were of the expectation that that would kind of start soonish. So obviously, it'll take some time to prepare a report, but do we have a timeline on when that report on different options will come back? And do we have a timeline on how quickly the weekly cleaning can actually start?
Has it not started yet?
No.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, they do.
take that offline because I don't believe there was a commitment to the weekly. We said that we would ask staff in case it
Right.
do what we could as a board to
Yeah.
have that happen.
I thought it came from staff.
Yes. So, well, anyway, there's a mismatch there of expectations.
But we will certainly
So-
take that offline and we'll ask for a timeline around that.
Sounds good.
Couldn't they actually, can staff doing such a good job end up the driveway?
Yes.
No, they
Oh,
don't do
yes,
the
yes.
driveways.
That's the one.
Oh, and the cleaning that is happening fortnightly, it has been really comprehensive as well. That's why they're so eager to see it be weekly.
Yeah, I went down there the other day. It was looking great.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's such a tricky one, that one, because they're really getting frustrated that we're not fixing the problem, but we don't have the answer.
Well, we're waiting to hear what the answers are from what was discussed.
If there are any answers.
Yeah,
but
but we don't know that till we get the responses back.
Hmm.
and meanwhile, the situation gets worse as every other tree
Yeah.
comes down around them.
Yeah.
Right, was that it from you, Jake?
Yes.
Yep.
Thank you.
Ellie?
Yeah, no, I just, I had an inquiry and I think they could do a snap send solve, but I'm just wondering if we could note it here. Apparently there are some raspberry bushes planted in the trees along the side of the warehouse on Sawyers Arms Road. Can anyone place that? I've had this just as a message.
I thought it was native plantings.
Where is it? It says, well, it just says, there are trees, it's the council's responsibility to take care of trees that run along the side of the warehouse it must be the warehouse.
Oh, the warehouse.
Yeah, not a warehouse, the warehouse on Sawyers Arms Road. There are several raspberry bushes planted in there and people are being scratched and pricked by the nasty bushes. I asked at Northlands Mall and they said it is the responsibility of the council. So if we could just make a note of that, that would be helpful.
They want
Can't
bushes
prove
taken in.
information.
We can take it offline and do it that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
CSR would be the best way.
Right, anybody else got anything? I just wanted to do a quick shout out to our staff that were involved with doing Children's Day,
Oh, yeah.
especially Hannah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Mm.
Day out, so thank,
And she organised the weather as well, didn't she?
must have,
Yeah.
great job with that.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something for everyone.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
My little Brandy loved the big vehicles up on this huge wheel, so the green one and the orange one at the
Yeah, monster truck.
trucks here. Yeah.
Right, well, in that case, we will close the meeting with our karakia.
Earlier here.
Kia wātia, kia mama, te nākau, te tinana, te wairua, te ara tangata. Te apai ki ronga, kia tina, hui e tahi.
Thanks. Good meeting.
Keep the live stream running. And
I might take a couple of minutes maybe.
Oh.
And I need to just.
Road and cycle facilities investigation.
Kia ora, I'm David McGonigal, I'm a transport planner in the transport asset planning. And I'm Andy Milne, transport planning team leader.
Good lord, are you both Scottish?
If you want.
We went to State University as well, but. No.
Well, we're both from Scotland.
Everyone's related. Right, sorry, enough of that.
You should open with that. Just
You should.
before you start, we're both from Scotland.
Yeah.
You probably get it all the time.
This is actually the first time.
Do we need subtitles or?
Well, that's a good question.
I love your song, 500 Miles.
Yeah, it's
My
very good.
favourites.
You've aged well.
Yeah.
So the purpose of this presentation this afternoon is firstly to provide an update on a review of the safety issues that were raised by the community last year regarding the North Court Road area. I'll report on our initial investigation work. I'll outline what we've done and what we've learned from that work. Secondly, I'll provide a bit of a way forward for more detailed investigations. We'll use the funding grant that was approved last year. So just to recap on some of the issues that were raised. First one there, the parking in the side streets. So there was quite a lot of indiscriminate parking around the intersections up Fenchurch Street. And that was causing issues for pedestrians trying to cross the road and just affecting the efficiency of Fenchurch Street. The safety of cyclists really issue was what received the greatest feedback. So the lack of cycle facilities between North Court Road and Fenchurch Street and Main North Road. Cycle lanes along North Court Road being too narrow. And the safety of pedestrians being, or the safety of pedestrians accessing Pack and Safe from St Bede's. So that was what I think the St Bede's students were most passionate about.
Where is it?
So what have we done? So we've undertaken several site visits actually, just to better understand the issues and just see for ourselves firsthand.
Yeah, and we've done that at different times of the day, especially after school and approaching that school time when traffic conditions are really busy on.
We've reviewed the crash history and although this doesn't show any sort of, I would say that it doesn't show any issues, but I'll just caveat that. I mean that is a review of the reported crash database, so there could be a number of crashes that are unreported
or near misses.
Or near misses, yeah. And obviously the crash history is not an indicator of the crash risk either. So it could be a high crash risk, but there can be a situation where no crashes occur because the situation is perceived to be quite dangerous or unsafe.
So have there been no crashes?
There has been 2 crashes involving cyclists and pedestrians, I think, if I recall correctly, and neither of the crashes that were sort of related to the road network. It was more environmental type issues.
How far back is that going?
Saw someone being.
So look back, I think I'll look back over 10 years.
Well, I have to say, my son came home. My son went to St Bede's and came home late last year and saw a cyclist being flung off their bike, knocked into her. So that is part of it. That's on the record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mind you, Marion School's only just moved there.
Yeah, so I'm sort of raising the issue. I've looked at the database. It's basically the first protocol for any safety investigation. But I'm not saying in any way that is an indicator that there is no safety issues. in the corridor. Over the last couple of years, there has been a number of changes that have been made along North Court Road. Especially following the opening of Pack and Save and Marion College, and some of those changes have happened post the feedback last year. Firstly, we've dealt with the parking issues in Fenchurch Street. So there's now no parking lines painted there, and that seems to have dealt to the issue. Just looking at some of the infrastructure that has been that was implemented by Pack and Save. Main North Road intersection. So we have raised crossings on all the left turn approaches. So if you can't quite see it, but that left-hand photograph, the top box there. So it shows that there's there's raised zebra crossings on all the left turn approaches. There's improved pedestrian islands. The islands are now much larger than they were before, so it means that they can accommodate more kids. Obviously, you can see in that photograph there. There's quite a significant demand and pressure on those islands. So larger islands help to keep people safer standing on them.
That's not really where the issue is, though, is it? We're talking Main North.
Yeah,
North.
I'm just giving a bit of a contextual understanding of. I mean, basically, there was, like, for example, St. Bede's were particularly, gave quite strong feedback and wanted this intersection improved. And I guess what I'm sort of highlighting here is that there has now been quite a number of improvements made, to the intersection that should, it's as safe as, or in terms of the infrastructure that's provided, it should provide a good level of safety for pedestrians.
Has there been any feedback from St. Bede's about that?
No, we haven't. I'm not aware of it. I mean,
We'll just.
Yeah.
Crack on.
We might hold questions till after they might get answered.
About St. Bede's?
Yes.
Okay, one quick comment.
Yeah, so the split phasing of Main North Road has resulted in pedestrians being better protected when they're crossing Kirritu Northcote because of the way the Main North Road movements happen now. That's something I've noticed that's probably made things quite a bit safer then.
That's good.
We now have a new pedestrian crossing just outside the Pack and Save entrance. That's the photograph on the right there. Pack and Save have also provided a footpath from Lydia Street through the site, which potentially gives pedestrians a sort of a route sort of between Lydia Street and Pack and Save without actually needing to go along North Court Road.
Or share that service road with big trucks.
Or share the service road. I'll come back. I'll come on to that.
Does it come right through to onto Main North Road behind the whole thing?
Yeah, I'll cover that, and I'll cover that in the next slide. So just in terms of Marion College, so they provided a new pedestrian crossing on North Court Road. And then on the right hand, the photograph there on the right hand side, they've got the raised zebra crossing just at the end of Lydia Street. Yeah, I'll just make the point that when you look on Google Maps, you see Lydia Street going all the way along into Pack and Save. Lydia Street actually finishes where that red line up on there, so that's the end of Lydia Street. So Pack and Save have provided a footpath, that continues all the way through into their car park and the service lane. They've also put some speed bumps in on the service lane, so that helps to keep speeds down. I mean, we did observe the days we went there. You know, it's quite heavily used by some of the students from Marion College. So from our site visit and our feedback, you know, it's clear that there is two areas where, you know, the level of safety for cyclists is most affected. And I've shown those two areas here, area one there, which is on the approach to the main North Road intersection, and area two, which is just on the approach to Page Road. Just zoom in on area one, and you can see there the cycle lane on the north side of Northcote Road ends just past Fenchurch Street. So there's no cycle facilities from that point on. So it's a cyclist to come along the cycle lane and stop. Well, you have to use the road.
So how, I mean, I just have no words actually, but
How do they happen?
and where's the safety audit that we always hear about that informs, you know, developments, increasing traffic and so forth?
Yeah.
Are you going to cover that, or?
No,
Can I
I mean,
ask
all
that
I
now?
can, in terms of history, there was, I mean, the fact there's no cycle facilities, that wasn't linked to any of the development. So that's a situation that's always been. But I mean, if you look back through historical maps, there was a cycle lane up until about 2012.
There's a new school and a new supermarket here. Was the area not safety audited before all this was kind of?
Yeah, what gets
Okay.
safety audited is the changes that you know, that are being made as a result of the. But this is, I'll continue on, and
This is why we've put
this is-
money towards it.
Yeah.
It's gobsmacking.
So no cycle facilities. On the south side of Northcote Road, the cycle lane runs the full length. But there is a couple of sections where it is narrow, and I will.
How wide is it? Is it like the
Cover that.
minimum it can be? Is it?
Again, I'll cover that.
Oh, I
if
beg
you
your
don't
pardon.
mind.
Yeah, we'll hold questions.
So this is that area too. You can see there quite obviously the you know, the fact there's no on-road cycle facilities just pushes the cyclists onto the footpath, which is so the safest thing. The footpath is also has a few pinch points along it. You can see there in that photograph next to the power pole. The footpath narrows down. I've just highlighted the bus stop there as well. Marion College, the buses stop there to pick up students from Marion College. So that footpath is quite well used, and you can see that it's quite worn. There's grass, the students make their way along to the bus. Just zooming in on that other area, so as we highlighted earlier, the cycle lane narrows. I mean, I think that's down to close to 1 metre as it goes past the poles. I didn't notice that way. You might have to investigate that one.
Came up over under cover of darkness.
Yeah, and you can see there the pinch point of the pedestrians past that pole. So I guess the way forward, and what we're proposing is to investigate the feasibility of providing a wider shared footpath cycleway on both sides of Northcote Road. That would run all the way from Main North Road all the way up to Biggs Road. The wider shared path would not only benefit cyclists, would benefit pedestrians as well, as I've highlighted those pinch points. The on-road cycle lanes would remain, so any cyclist that wants to continue to go fast along
Good luck
the
to them.
road, so they can continue to use the on-road cycle lanes. There is one sort of pinch point close to Main North Road where widening the footpath does require property purchase.
Is that on the north side?
Yes, on the north side, so I'll just show you here the photographs. The 4 properties starting from the one on the left all the way up to the Main North Road intersection. It would require roughly about a 1 metre wide strip of each of the properties.
What's the photo on the left there?
Yeah, that's the Main North Court Road. That's just before.
It's got the Mad Butcher in there, which isn't there anymore.
This is on the north side.
It's just an old photo.
It's just an old photo.
Yeah.
It'll be a Google it. Street view.
Okay. So the property purchase part, is it on both sides or which
So I might
side?
be confusing. These photographs are actually sequential.
Okay, I'm struggling to see.
Oh, this
No, I
one.
understand what you're thinking. I see what you mean now. The photograph on the left precedes this one on the right.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
That's just a bit
I'm looking
further
now.
along the road.
It's where that is there. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking at. So how many, I'll wait, Emma, for questions.
And all those properties, there is a 5 metre wide designation along there. So the road,
So
road
the
designation
designation's already
is already there.
How long's it been there for?
About
Forever.
a long time.
I thought they had to take them off after 5 years.
We have looked at or considered other options, but we feel that given the narrowness of the corridor, any other sort of on-road option is going to require significant property purchase. And so that would contribute to a reasonably significant project cost. So we're suggesting the next steps will be to complete the feasibility investigations and scheme design and bring that back to you for consideration.
Sorry, related to what?
Scheme design for the
For what you've just discussed?
Yes.
If we choose to.
That's, yeah, okay, right.
And then the steps following that would, if you're agreed or approved, then that would be the future steps.
Okay.
Question.
Is that the end of the
Yeah,
presentation?
that's it, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go Vic and Alan.
Okay, thank you. At the very beginning of the presentation, I think it could have been the first slide, you're talking about the issues that were identified from the feedback. Just curious to know what feedback to what, who did you engage with, when, where did this feedback come from?
So that was the deputations to the board last year, so
Yeah.
I reviewed that.
Oh,
Some pupils.
yes, and Begs and Marion, but did you actually talk to anyone else along that corridor,
No,
or was it
we-
just the review?
No, we haven't done that.
Okay, so that's just from that community board meeting? Yeah. We've allocated 100,000 for this that we carved off. So this preliminary little piece of work that we've done, how much have we used and what's the?
It's probably, I wouldn't even be 5,000.
Yeah, maybe
No,
5
not
years
even that.
to get this far.
Okay. The infrastructure where you showed the raised pedestrian crossings and that's, yeah, raised platforms and larger build outs on that pedestrian area. Was that our work or was that NZTA?
It was done by the Pack and Save contractors. Yeah, under supervision by NZTA.
It was part of their resource consent.
Okay, okay. And then you've shown us that picture of the entrance into Lydia Street off Northcote Road. There's two empty sections, one on either side of that intersection on the Northcote Road. Who owns those and what are they for?
Marion College.
Okay. Is there any plans?
I'm not
We don't know aware. Okay. So the last bit for me is really understanding the cost. And you just said that it'd be insufficient with 100,000. Have you got any back of an envelope indication of, because we may not do it all at once, but if we were to do the investigative work and do that scheme design aspect, have we got any indication of how far that 100K that we've allocated or 95 that's left would take us, please?
For a project that involves widening the footpath I've described,
Yeah.
we should manage to do all of that.
Within the 100K?
Yes.
Okay, that didn't come across to me and what you
So we
presented to us.
would basically complete down to, we would basically complete bullet point 1 and bullet point 2.
Sorry, could you say that again?
We would complete bullet point 1 and bullet point 2.
Okay.
With the money you've already got.
With the money we've got.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
but detailed.
But then, yeah, I mean, it's a relatively simple project, so I wouldn't expect the detailed design to be really a significant cost.
And how many property purchases did you skim over?
4.
4. And how much slicing off the front of each section, do you think?
1 metre.
1 metre?
Yeah,
1 metre of 4 sections. Okay.
And so that's feasible.
Well,
Although I was going to say some of the properties along there were on the full 5 metres. So it might be that we need to take the full 5 metres that's designated.
Oh, so there's some beautifying.
So the last question, and thank you, is when it comes to the next stage, would it be an option to think of, because you've talked about the shared path for that entire length on both sides of that road up to that Vagues Road railway crossing. But when you identify where the problem areas are, you've really only identified 2 main areas. Would it be an option to do it in a stage way where you can do those pieces first or those pieces separately, or is that nonsensical?
No, that was something I looked at initially. Yes, that is possible.
So when you do that investigative work, would you look at the feasibility of chunking it up like that and concentrating? Because sometimes we've just got to do what we can within the budget envelope that we've got. It's not perfect, but it's better than doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
So I just wonder whether we can, when it comes for a decision on this, we can have both options on the table of we can do this much or we can do that much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there would be a significant benefit if, just to do doing the Fenchurch to, I mean, that is the worst pinch.
I mean, it's like I've got a hole in my roof, so do I fix one tile or do I replace the whole lot? All I really need to do is that one tile.
Yeah.
So just understanding from it gives us more options to look at what's urgent and important, necessary. Thank you very much.
That's good thought. That's
Grateful for what you've done.
John.
Thank you. Some of mine was answered there, but it looks like a good plan, but before feeling comfortable with, spending $100,000 on investigation is whether the rollout would be affordable. So, the cost will be significant of the entire project. Ballpark, what sort of money are we talking and where are we going to get it from? It'd be a waste of time going through consultation if we don't have a source.
Yeah, so I guess that's why I'm suggesting that's why we need to, I guess, go through this investigation stage so I can understand what the cost. I mean, a ballpark would be up to $1.5 million. But could be, it depends. The property purchase could be a key component of the overall cost. So Yeah, I'm up to that, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
It would be next LTP if we decided to go ahead. So it's not.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, that's good.
But it's good to have this information now. I think
Yeah.
we're doing,
Yeah, certainly.
a new community plan coming up this year and already. Thank you.
That's right. And just so I'm clear, sorry, supplementary to that, property purchases, which would be a, considerable part of that. How does that play out? We purchase the whole lot? Is it like no, we purchase that's right. That's what I thought. And that's like a compulsory,
a willing seller. I mean, it
Is it?
depends, well, it
Yeah.
depends.
They don't want to sell
It
it.
depends if they don't want to
Yeah.
sell, then it would.
yeah, we're not coming in and.
We will if they don't want to sell it.
Yeah.
There's a designation.
On the title.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it would still be messy.
Mm.
Come to you after Ellie.
Sorry, mine's on designation. Yeah.
Ellie.
Just, yeah, a couple of things. Firstly, thank you to the members of the board that brought this up and pushed this through. Because, as I've already expressed in my frustration, it is just gobsmacking that something as serious and concerning as this has actually come at as a response from the board. I would have thought that this would have been something that would have been watched extremely closely from a safety audit perspective, from an internal staffing perspective. My question is, or a couple of them. The first one, you're focusing on what's there already, understandably, because that's what was asked. Have you looked at the overview of the area? Have you looked at the roading network? Why is Northcote even potentially being used here? I might be way off beam, but if we've got little areas, and I'm looking at the Google Maps where there are much quieter roads, much quieter accesses to some of the places, is there something that we should be looking at in a more strategic, broadly overview way of the area? Are we trying to make a silk purse out of a pig's ear here?
Yeah, I mean, I did have a sort of look at the Northcote Road as a sort of strategic cycle corridor. I guess the conclusion is that, you have St. Beats.
Yeah.
And that is obviously a key destination for cyclists along there.
But there's no way to channel them from these areas into anywhere else. There's no. Okay, that's fine. I wanted to ask. Underground services are always an issue, and so the comments you're making and suggestions you're making are dependent on, I imagine, cost-wise too, on what's there.
Yes, that's essentially what we all do through the feasibility.
Right.
Stage.
Okay. All right. Okay, I mean, what concerns me, I think, is this, we still seem to be trying to retrofit things onto road. And, there's only so much stuff you can get on a road, and things like pedestrian walkovers or other ways to safely get people off roads and pedestrians off roads. Would that ever be something that you would consider here that could be looked at as a potential option? Separating them completely?
Possibly.
Yeah, I mean, essentially we've looked at that, and essentially that involves significant profit. You would need the 5 metre strip both sides of Northcote Road.
So there are no savings to be had by doing that, as opposed to what you're suggesting at the moment. It's not something you.
Well, the cost would be significant.
Okay.
It would almost translate into being, one of the most challenging cycle projects.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about pedestrians as well.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, getting them
and
across those
pedestrians.
roads.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. No, thank you.
Emma.
So yeah, road, transport corridors, not roads, transport corridors. The designation, how, you say there's a designation on there. How did the designation get put on there? How long has it been there? And it was my understanding that a designation only lasted a certain time.
I'm not aware of how long it's been there, but you're correct. It only lasts a certain amount of time. But that would be put on the designation when it was designated, and I guess.
But that probably means quite a bit for
in current times, designations are generally for a shorter period of time. I suspect that designation's been there for a long time. Therefore, it's probably a much longer timeframe.
It would be interesting to know because it would be terrible to sort of get this project off the ground and then the designation is run out.
I will look at that. I mean, I am aware that there has been property purchased actually when the new pedestrian crossing was put in at Lydia Street. I'm assuming it wasn't Marion College that bought the section of land. It was actually us that bought it.
Okay, I'm just wondering if we can go back one slide. I'm still just stuck on something. I just want to make sure we're clear on it. Bullet point number 3, it says 100K is insufficient for the investigation, but I'm hearing that it is sufficient.
No, oh, sorry, the investigation to investigate the off-road project. So segregated. Segregated.
Okay.
Oh, I see, that's why it was under other options.
Insufficient for the other option.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Is sufficient for the shared path.
Yeah.
That's sufficient for the shared.
It's
Right, actually, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Right, any more questions? I've just got a sort of general comment to make is that this corridor has been a problem for a long time. It's been exacerbated by the Pack and Save in Marion College. But when I first came on the board, which is over 11 years ago now, there was money on budget for the upgrade of the.
Can you remember how much?
Oh, it was millions. It was a huge project. It was huge. It was looking at potential 4-laning or a transitional lane, all sorts of different stuff. So it's not that this is new. It has been going for a long time and I've certainly seen it for a long time.
No, but I'm glad the board has raised it because actually, this is one of the questions, if the board had not raised these issues, does anyone think that it would have been brought to?
Well, it got pushed off the budget, so obviously it's not on.
Yeah, but pushed off the budget doesn't change the safety issues.
I
we've
know,
got here, and
that's why our board has always pushed for it to get back on budget. Yeah, so. Right, so next step, we leave you to go away and do that, those next couple of steps. I think that's the steer you're getting from us, is that yes, go ahead and do it.
I do think we need some more information as far as feedback goes, rather than just from, a deputation at the community board.
Well, I'm assuming in this next stage, you will talk maybe more widely with
that's why
other stakeholders.
Consultation.
We could. I mean,
We'll do a survey monkey through the schools for a start, or just something.
Or even just a point is, yes, there's Marion College and St Bede's, but there's probably just as many Papanui High kids pass through there.
That's right. And the Pack and Save too. The drivers there, the Pack and Save, there are a lot of people use that.
But just, if you can put that lens over it as well, that would be.
Thank you.
Helpful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Right, so let's absolutely, but we do have this submission.
Are we getting the responses about the trees? The next email said post meeting.
Yeah, sure.
The board. Comprehensive communications covering all the outstanding questions following.
It doesn't look like it's come through yet, but it's not, we have had them last time, so.
All the questions that Shirley have asked and related to Orion and, yeah.
We are.
Even though it's a work.
So we're disappearing now and you guys are on annual plan?
Yep, made it.
If you can, we've got time.
What about that?
Email. Yeah. No, yeah. Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna finish.